Mother Xavier Ross is well known for saying, think of the good that is yet to be, right? I think John Sage, my good friend, is an example of that good that is yet to be. We're seeing it right now. By his inspiring leadership of others to perform works of mercy in the spirit of St. Vincent de Paul. I first met John when we served together in the Army about 50 years ago. We were talking about this earlier. Literally this morning's the first time I've seen him since 1973, right? He was fresh out of graduate school at LSU. He was an All-American in football, and he showed up at Fort Knox, and we were all in awe of him. We were all scrawny lieutenants out of West Point, and he was big and boisterous. A great sense of humor. We really enjoyed John's companionship, friendship there as we were learning how to be soldiers at Fort Knox. So after 4 months of training at Fort Knox, we went our separate ways to our various units. But in 2013, we became reconnected by a mutual friend. Turns out John played football at St. Thomas High School in Houston with a classmate of mine from West Point. And his classmate of mine and I were down in Florida sitting in a bar. And he was talking to somebody and mentioning all about the exploits of John Sage. I said, I know John Sage. Well, he gave me your phone number, John. If you remember that night, I called you. But we chatted back then, and he told me about the tragic circumstances of 1993 with his sister Marilyn. And you know, he did share with me that he struggled for 5 years what to do. Here he was, a leader in the community, but also a leader of his family. His wife and the surviving members of his family all in grief, and he struggled through that pain and the suffering of loss of his Marilyn. But John's participation in a pilot project captured his imagination about what could be done, what he could do personally as it regards forgiveness. And you know, the expectation that Jesus has for us all is 70 times 7, right? And so that was a motivation for John to form Bridges to Life. And we have already heard the many accomplishments of Bridges to Life, but it's a very unique curriculum that brings the victims into the prisons and meeting face to face with not their offenders, but people who have offended others. And so, as John told me, and he has said many times, I saw empathy in those offenders, in those incarcerated. I saw them as human beings for the first time. So, it's John's strong faith in his upbringing and his dedication to his Lord God that he was able to recognize the potential for transforming the lives of many, many people and communities and make them safer. And I really do think that St. Vincent would admire John Sage for his work.